Baby, do you understand me now? Sometimes I seem a little mad. Oh, but don't you know that no one alive can always be an angel? When things go wrong, I seem bad. Oh, but I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh, Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood.
Hello there. This chapter 3 will be a bit different, much like a roller coaster. First of all, I want to put out why I started this series. If there was something that I always profoundly disliked in my life, it was the abusers of all kinds, even when they use words, actions, or just being immature individuals. And I profoundly dislike the chauvinists hiding their tendencies by displaying themselves as victims of women and using that facade just for attacking, humiliating, dehumanizing the women that dared to make them feel responsible for their own actions. You will say, "Oh, so you are bashing the Glitter." No, I don't. I just follow his pattern. I just tell his story in his own words, with his own actions. The conclusions belong to you. With this being said, take your lemonade, your coffee, or whatever you want to consume and let's start. Chapter 3 will be divided in 2 parts. The first part will be about the Truthy McGoo salad mixed with Michael Longcase. The second part will be about him treating people like disposable garbage, especially his mods. Keep in mind that behind the screens we are all humans, so please be kind, especially on the last part. Let me be the unkind one.
Some little thing, some little simple thing I've done, but you know I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't.
I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm going to make this. Hold on, I got to center. Okay, am I centered? I'm centered. Cool. I want everybody to see that I am completely and totally here to tell you that you people who are into the drama, that are focused on the drama, that are taking Sophie and taking Michael and taking Kelly and whoever the fuck is involved in this whole bullshit and making them out to be celebrities, I'm here to call you out and call you bullshit. All of you are bullshit. All of you suck. Every single fucking one of you. Every single one of you needs to stop. Every single one of you that is blowing up the internet and sitting here going, oh, well, this is Michael's a piece of shit and Kelly's a piece of shit and blah, 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 blah. That shit is none of your fucking business. It's none of anybody's fucking business. That is a personal family matter. I simply came on here and spoke out for a child who was screaming sexual abuse. 9 years old. She's now 10. And she seems happy. Every bit of her behavior, every single aspect of her behavior that everybody's picking apart, that everybody's got under a microscope. Every single little movement that this poor child makes. And yes, I agree. It is because Michael is putting it out there. Yes, I am not denying that fact. I am not denying the fact that that father is putting all of this stuff out there. Not one little bit. Do I agree with it? No. At this point, where it's at, do I think it's unnecessary? Yes. 100%. But here's the thing. Is everybody who's sitting here whining and bitching about it and saying, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Well, you're doing it too. Motherfuckers, you're doing it too. Every single one of you, you're doing it too. Every fucking creator out there that's trashing any other creator is fucking doing it too. You're a fucking hypocrite. I'm sick and tired of this shit, man. I'm not even trying to lie about it. Annie's about to go live at 11 p.m. Eastern. She's about to share more information. And you know why she's going to share that information? Because you fucking dogs need that information. You fucking dogs need to be fed. I got ostracized and basically pissed out of the fucking drama community because I was under the impression, being green and being, naive, that it was a true crime community. There's a big difference between the true crime community on YouTube and there's a big difference between the drama community on YouTube, right? And the drama community likes to disguise itself as the true crime community. And I spoke up. And I said some pretty awful things to a particular creator. I don't even know if I want to say his name on here, but I respect what he does as a true crime creator. But for some reason, he was in a drama chat, and then he came on panel, and I went off on the guy. That was shit. That was at least a year ago. I don't even know how long ago it was. But he's a great true crime creator. He really is. There's nothing going on beyond the fact that there was a child that claimed to be abused. And nobody helped her. Nobody fucking helped her. What the fuck do you expect somebody like her to do? What do you expect anybody like me to do? I'm going to speak up. And I'm going to do it fucking loud. You better fucking believe I'm going to fucking speak out loud if there's a kid who is screaming that they're being hurt and nobody's fucking helping them. Like, dude, why are you focused? Okay, let me put it like this. Any fucking creator out there who is talking about a child being exploited and you're collecting monetization and super chats for that child being exploited, guess what? You're fucking exploiting that child. Yeah, you, motherfucker, you're exploiting that child. You don't get to fucking throw stones at anybody. You live in the glassest fucking house ever. And anybody who's fucking paying for it and clicking on it is contributing to that exploitation. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck if we've been cool this whole time. And now all of a sudden we're not. Because I'm speaking the truth. Seriously, I don't give a fuck. If you are collecting super chats, talking about this case, and you're trashing somebody for collecting super chats, well, guess what? You are a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit, you know? I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm not proud of it. I'm a failed parent, you know? I wish I'd done things different. It is what it is. You know, the only thing I can do is try to make things right. And the truth is, the only reason that I'm up here doing what I'm doing is because I'm just trying to make up for it little by little. That's the truth. I'm just up here trying to make up for it little by little. That's my motivation for all this. That's my motive. If being a YouTuber was a murder, my motive would be trying to make the mistakes that I've made in the past right, little by little. I'm gonna hate, but I can't. Just so people will go, I wonder what the hell she's saying. Kay's not stupid. She's very, very smart. She's not dumb, you know, but she's also extremely contradictory to herself because
is she coming after you?
No, she's not coming after me. And if she does, I mean, she won't, you know what I'm saying? But it's just funny. What she's doing right now is she's coming after Annie. And the only reason she's coming after Annie is because Annie has 80,000 subscribers. That's the only reason. Because she thinks if she can start from,
you're making money. That's her main thing.
Right. So if she goes after Annie, this is the thing. She's going to keep on antagonizing Annie, and Annie doesn't listen to that shit. I'm here to tell you. Listen, Kay, listen. If you want to talk to Annie, if you want to get a response from Annie, I'm sorry, but you got to go through me. And then there's wait a minute. What is that?
I feel that way about a different unnamed channel that we won't name. We watch stupid people give stupid amounts of money to stupid causes. Triple stupid is really what it is.
I mean, it's hilarious to me. They think of this like it's gospel, and she vets her audience like very carefully in the sense that she, you know, like me, I take pride in having a subscriber group that is quality, not quantity. You know what I'm saying? Like usually whenever I do regular live streams where I'm not, you know, trashing somebody and it's not drama related, because I rarely ever do that. But
yeah, you told me you hated it, and I'm like, oh, fucking drama. Matter of fact, I'm gonna probably do a drama video tomorrow, but it's a defense video for another channel that you don't even know exists.
So that's pretty much what this is. I'm just defending Annie for the most part because, you know, I mean, she went into this pure of heart, wanting to give. She heard a child screaming. She saw that video. That video struck a chord in her the way it did everyone else. And she went live about it. And then people in that family contacted her and said, we want you to be the one to deliver the information. That's all that was. Yeah. They trusted her because of her integrity.
She got interviews with Michael Long, and she right to his face, which I said in your live stream, right to his face, she goes, I am not the Michael Long community show or whatever she said. She goes, I am for Sophie. Right to Michael Long's face while he's being interviewed.
Right.
That's a fucking class act. That's why I'm just sticking with that phrase. That just works for me. She every single time I've ever seen her behave, she behaves like a class act.
Straight up begging for money. You sat there and you called my homegirl Annie a 10 to life. You called that channel a gossip channel. Between the two of you, I'd say she's the one who focuses on the facts. I'd say the evidence dictates that between the two of you, which one is a true crime channel and a fact-driven channel, and which one is a sad, pathetic excuse for a shock jock gossip channel. Because when you take facts and evidence from a case, right, a crime case, which is what this is, by the way, what we're all talking about, this is a crime case, okay? So far, Annie has shown 911 calls. Annie has shown documentation. Annie has had court-appointed attorneys on her channel, on camera, not hiding. She's had a phone call between one sad excuse for a police officer and one man just doing his job, but also a police officer. At least from what I heard. And guess what? I'm going to go a different route tonight. I'm going to go a little different route than last time. I'm going to go the opposite route, kind of piggyback off of my last live that got stricken, but is back up for you to view at your pleasure at any time you like, because it's mine. I want it. I've never, ever, ever spoken on this channel, whether I took a side with Michael or Kelly, but with the things that I know, right now, I feel like I'm definitely on the right side, because it doesn't matter what someone says. It matters what they do. Okay? Again, not asking you to think critically here, people. It doesn't take critical thinking. It merely takes common sense. What kind of a woman does what she's doing and trusts someone like Critical K with information to put out there unless they relate to each other in some way? See, I got to tell you, I talked to Michael. I think I'd like to consider us friends at this point, because we've had some very deep conversations, and he's a good dude. He's a really, really good dude. Is he unique? Absolutely. Sure. There's no doubt about that. But what's wrong with being unique? This man has not publicly trashed his ex, and not even in private with me. He has not said anything negative about her. He doesn't bad talk her in any way, shape, or form. Even in private. Curses like a sailor in private. I'm putting you out there, Michael. He curses like a sailor in private, but he he does not bad talk anyone. He doesn't lose his temper. I think the angriest he got was on Annie's live when he was explaining how angry he was about the evidence, which we're going to get into as well. Because one thing I know is Michael doesn't trash talk Kelly. He just doesn't. Graduated top 5% from high school. Spent 2 years living abroad, Guatemala and Argentina. Rotary International exchange student. Student body president, First College. Graduated with bachelor's from Georgetown University. International Relations was his his degree. Helped to start a bilingual Rotary club. Rotary president for a year and a half. District chairman for Rotary. Bilingual English and Spanish. Not just feathers and angels. This is a sharp guy. And he's very spiritual. Never once have I seen this guy act irrational. Never once. And then you got this jackass on her channel blowing a kazoo. I'm sorry, a fart whistle. That sounds better. My bad. A fucking fart whistle and wearing a Dollar Tree tiara and calls what she does with people debates. They're never debates. They're not debates when you go, no. This, the same person who went, no. Well, when I was on panel with her, the same person who did that calls a 9-year-old a brat. Do you not see the irony in there? Isn't that ironic? From the man himself, you're going to hear from Mr. Michael Long himself, in which, and it's funny because Kay blew it, dude. Kay blew it. She totally could have had him on her panel, had taken control of the conversation. He put in her chat, he said, I'm willing to talk about anything you'd like to talk about. Anything that you'd like. Sure. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my man on.
All right. I'll stay on if you don't mind.
What's happening, brother?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah. How you feeling tonight?
All right. How you guys doing?
Doing all right. Considering the subject matter as best as we can be, I guess. But I'm definitely touched at how many people showed up here to support the idea of giving victims a voice, and it's real important. And I think that, and I want to go ahead and publicly say that I think that what you've done has been a very, very positive force in making that happen. You sparked all of this, and Sophie sparked all of this by showing by inspiring strength by showing hers. And I want to go ahead on behalf of everyone and thank you for that. And Courtney.
And thanks to Sophie.
And to Sophie. Yeah.
I did say that. Did I said that, right?
This is
Yeah.
chimed
You didn't hear me?
Right.
I swear, I hope I didn't. Yeah, I said and Sophie too. Yeah.
No, I heard you, man. I just that's a lot to take responsibility for. I mean, I think more than anything, it's been the people who have shown up, right? Because this happens a lot. Like that's part of what I learned through this process is that, I'm certainly not the first parent to be frustrated, and Sophie is certainly not the first child to go through a difficult experience. By God's graces, she was heard, and it was the people that showed up, and they moved past kind of that barrier of shame that existed for so long in society, and still does to a large extent. And they got loud, and they demanded some answers, and it allowed us, it empowered us to move forward and exploring this situation further and trying to get to the bottom of it. But to take the responsibility on me for why this happened, I think it's timing, it's God. It's a blessing, though, that so many people have felt like these shackles have been kind of released, that they've been able to just step forward and out of that darkness and be free again to say, you know what, I can feel anger about the past. I can step forward and do something about this. We've seen so many people that have gone from never sharing their stories for 20 years, 30 years, I mean, sometimes 40 years, to suddenly they're enrolling to go be CASA representatives, for instance, for kids that are going through situations in the courts, or people enrolling in school to go study different themes of child advocacy. And this is pretty amazing. I mean, these are the heroes in this situation. They're acting on it. They're doing something. They're making a change, not only in sharing their own voice but by being proactive in the community and making a change for the many children that need help.
I wish, Michael, like I said to you last night, I think that if national media would actually pick up the attention of this instead of talking about stupid celebrity shit, the power would sway in your favor, because the empathy that would be brought out would be strong. And that's my main goal is we got to keep talking about Sophie and her story, because it's going to take that to fight the big monster you're fighting, based on the things that you told me privately that I won't reveal.
Yeah. So yeah, look, I think truthfully you're right. There's an opportunity right now. I think if we collectively seize the moment, and I think that opportunity looks a lot like possibility that collectively we could influence politicians to make some
That too. Yeah. Sorry about the ding.
changes in the way that the laws work, some reevaluations of how children gain legal protection. What is it that happens when a child speaks who's younger than, for instance, 12 years old? What is the system doing to help them? How can we look at this as a society and understand that unless we do something about it soon, we're truly leaving our most innocent, those who we should be protecting the most, vulnerable. And this, for me, and I think you would agree, but this is a sign of a society crumbling. So we have to act. I think we need to act fast. And I think there's a real opportunity that there's some energy behind this. We could actually make some changes.
There's actually
Now with COVID, how much do you think these numbers are up? How much? And Annie brought this up, and I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Because, I mean, we've talked about it before, about COVID and how it's going to, but not this deep, and we haven't gone into it this deep into COVID with all this going on, this next wave of COVID. We haven't gone over any of that. And with this next wave of COVID, can you imagine how much these numbers have spiked of abuse in the home? Trafficking even. Just imagine that. Imagine just how much, you've got people who lost their jobs. And then you've got mothers and fathers, but mostly mothers, according to those numbers, mothers at home who need money and they got kids and they found out that there's a demand for kids and exploiting them. How many of these parents have picked up drug problems during COVID? Think about that. We need to talk about this now more than ever. And there's no more excuses about it. We don't get the luxury. We're grown-ups, people. We talk about true crime. We talk about people getting murdered, right? I mean, come on. Think about it. This is something that needs to be addressed. It is something that needs to be out there. It is something that needs to be in circulation. It is something that we need to keep more of an eye out for. So for those who listen to Critical K's channel and take heed, I'm not telling you not to listen to Critical K. I'm not telling you not to watch her channel. I probably have, but I'm not telling you to do that now. I'm saying, for the love of God, just don't adopt, make sure that you don't, carelessly adopt the mind frame that kids are just liars and just acting like brats when they scream for help. Just how many different cells involved?
Mm-hmm.
This is what they do. They use the dark web to support each other. They back each other up.
Have you ever been on the dark web?
Let's pause here for a minute to bring some light on why the Truthy McGoo, the loyal defender of Michael Long, is so familiar to dark web. Quote from a Reddit post that will be linked in the description of the video. The two people at the root of the faked evidence claim, one retracted his support, the other faked his death. A lot of the misinformation that I have seen spreading appears to have come from one of two YouTube drama channels. Both of these people were in a current feud with the interviewer, Pastel Bell, when the interview with Komori dropped. One of them even going so far as to make videos singing about S.A. her. It should be obvious that people who are actively attacking a YouTuber might have a reason to say anything they could to make her look like a liar. The first YouTuber, Cracked Rack, later retracted his support of Creeps McPasta. The second YouTuber, Truthy McGoo, was revealed to have been charged with SA2 underage girls in the past. When this came to light, he faked his death. These two are the central source of all claims that the original interview and evidence were faked by Pastelbell. Please remember to look at evidence and judge for yourself, not to just listen to people with obvious grudges. End of quote. Now let's go back to the video.
They back each other up.
Have you ever been on the dark web?
No.
I have. So let me tell you what this is like. I'm not even going to tell people how to get there, because that's bad.
Yeah, please don't do that here.
I was getting get that.
Don't do that.
But so there used to be a website called the shut down by the FBI. It was the #1 site for human trafficking and hiring assassins and buying fucking bath salt, and crocodile, and meth. All of it available there.
I don't have any interest in any of these things.
No. Murder on camera, live murders on camera from cartel people. It's the darkest of the dark. And they're still in the dark web. There are multiple websites that I will never fucking tell you, where they're openly trafficking children. Openly. Just no fucking shame. Because the browser is so encrypted that it's goddamn near impossible to track. So that's how slithery fucking these snakes are, is they're hiding in the dark web, and once they're there, they've got their own society.
Yeah,
and it's real. It's fucking real.
I know. It's not. How's it going, Michael? Are you there, buddy? All right. I think we're having some audio issues with Michael right now.
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Sweet. How you doing?
Oh, just probably more pissed off about this stuff than I should be. I don't know, but every time I talk to you, you're always like a lot more rational than I am. Even though you have more of a reason to not be. But yeah.
It's okay to have feelings. Yeah. It's okay, man. Yeah. So no, I mean, I have feelings about it, sure. But I don't know. I'm getting a little bit numb to some of the.
I get it, but I mean, you and I were texting, and she basically did exactly what I told you she was probably going to do. I told you she probably wasn't going to let you on, but then she did let you on, but she acted like, oh, well, I can't talk to you right now because I'm tired. But then she stayed live, kept talking about her rocks. So
yeah, I hopped on, and then she started talking. While I was in backstage, she started talking about her rocks, which is cool. I was open talking about rocks if she really wants to. I can talk about rocks, and but I got on, and I don't know. I just felt like she didn't want to talk, or she wasn't ready to talk. I don't know why she has to prepare though, really, because she seems to know an awful lot for not wanting to talk. I don't know. It's strange, but that's cool. I mean, if she needs to prepare, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, but that's the thing is that's why the last time this happened, she did the same thing. She was like, if that's really you, Michael, in the chat, then email me and then we'll set something up. And I was telling you, I was like, don't fucking do that, because what she's going to do is she's trying to prepare a way to railroad you completely and make you look bad.
I'm not too worried about that, man.
Well, I know you're not, but
yeah.
I know you're not, but what I'm saying is the way that she's going to do it is she's exactly right here what Comic Nut is saying. She has to get her lies straight. That's what she's doing. She's trying to. She was drunk on wine and spewing out lies for 3 hours, and she needs to go back, listen to her lies, and keep them straight and put them in a row, so that she can hit you with them then. You know what I'm saying? Rather than, because I mean, there was no way that she's going to have you go on there out of nowhere and be like, okay, you said this, and then you said that, and then you said that, and how could you say this when you didn't say that? You know what I'm saying? You were absolutely ready to confront her about lies that she was telling, and she chickened out. I mean, that's just what she did. She's a coward. I mean, you're probably a nicer guy than I am, and as far as name calling, but I don't give a shit. I think she's a coward. I know she's a coward. She proved it again tonight for the upteenth time since this case started.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that she has some misconceptions about the situation. So I they need to be clear. She can't draw an actual conclusion without the right information. So, for a long time, I'm gathering some wood for my now very made fun of campfire. So, you know why I burn fires every night, by the way? Because I'm clearing the land in the day. I've been clearing wood off the adjacent piece of land, so it's like a lot of extra wood. But it's nice to have a fire. Anyways,
yeah, especially this time of year, for sure.
Yeah, it does get a little cold. Anyways, I forgot where I was going with that. But I'm not. If she feels like she needs to prepare for a discussion, I mean, there's a lot of information to cover. This has been going on for a while now.
Fuck all that.
I don't want her to feel nervous or anything. I mean, I'm happy to have a candid conversation anytime she's like.
But she's such an expert though. She was such an expert. She had all this information tonight, and she was talking about how classy of a lady Kelly is, and blah blah blah, and what she's doing this and doing that. But then she had it all figured out. She was a total expert on your situation for 3 hours, and then, but had no conviction to stand by it when facing the person she's talking about. So how is that not being a total coward? I mean, how is that not completely inconsistent?
I find that it's easier for people to talk poorly about others when they're not right there. And that doesn't just apply to her. I mean, I'm talking about multiple panelists that are on there and people in the chat. And, it's interesting to me. I try to look at this a little objectively, but how people will just talk and talk and talk, and when you're right there in their face, they quit talking, and
right. That was exactly what happened. Everybody was like, and even Kay, she panicked. She totally panicked when seeing you there. And, I strategized that entire thing. That's why I had people who I know weren't blocked comment in the chat that you were backstage waiting to go on, because I wasn't about to let her act like you were too cowardly to face her and her to face your slanderer. So I made sure that the chat knew, her audience knew, that you were ready to face her. I can't even think of a better analogy than that. Nothing but lies and misinformation, lies about me, lies about Annie, and whether or not they're lies about Truthy, I don't know. And I'm just being fair here, because here's the thing, is they have not shown any court or police record of these charges that Truthy did admit to. Why would he admit to this? If he could just say, hey, fuck off, you know what I'm saying? Prove it, right? 10 to life, no. You're not supposed to mod anything, honestly. You have what's called an honorary wrench. You're not expected to do any work. So, but if this man could have just denied it and been like, show me actual evidence, show me a court document, show me anything, right? Why would he admit to anything? Considering how sensitive the subject matter is, considering dude, Annie, you can use your wrench, man. Knock yourself out, have fun if you want. I don't give a shit. Yeah, enjoy it. I mean, yeah, that's why it's an honorary wrench. You get to kind of do whatever the fuck you want, because I trust you to do whatever the fuck you want. You trust me with your channel, I trust you with mine. It's how it works. So, why would he admit to anything? If he's this deceitful, shitty person, he's this deceitful, horrible, awful person with so much to hide, why would he admit to anything at all? If that's me, I'm going, prove it. Okay, so Bite Me's in the chat right now. Apparently, as of about 2 a.m. Eastern time last night, Mrs. Magoo made a post on Truthy's channel in the community stating that he was no longer with us. And after speaking with Kate, with Mrs. Magoo, well, I didn't actually speak with her. I texted with her. She basically confirmed for the most part that it is, man, listen, okay. I'm not, dude. All right. You're not going to listen. You're not going to use this live stream to do that. You're not going to use this live stream to do that. You know who I'm talking to. If you want to talk, we'll talk privately, and that's fine. You reach out to me privately, but we're not doing this on this live stream. Okay? You're going to have to take some control of yourself. Hey, Annie.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
So I'm trying to message you on the private chat tab, and I don't know if I came in while you were talking about it, but there's a lot of concern out there for Gilth right now, and saying that he's like walking around with a backpack and a noose and a bottle of pills and is suicidal. I don't know Gilth, so I don't know any way to reach out. And this was the only way I could get your attention at the moment. So I'm doing it this way.
All right.
Or for anybody else who knows him and can check in and make sure that he's okay.
Somebody needs to do that. Please,
right.
Please, if you know how to get a hold of Gilth, please contact him. All right, Siren Jack's taking care of it. I appreciate that, my friend.
All right, I'm out of here.
Thank you, Annie. Appreciate it. Okay. How is that not going too far? And how does that not confirm everything that I've been saying about this person? How does that not completely and totally destroy her credibility? I'm not saying, I never once claimed that she was responsible for anything that took place. I never even implied it. I never even implied it. Yet she takes this awful tragedy in our community and then makes it about her. Ah, well, according to Mrs. Magoo, she's not doing very well. According to her, she's not doing very well. Let's see. In all fairness, I don't agree with CK or what she did today, but by pushing out more hate about her, Will, I'm not pushing out hate about her. I'm stating a fact. What I'm trying to do is give everybody their right back to deal with this in their own way and try to ignore the disruption by recognizing that it is nothing more than a disruption. That is all it is. That is all it is. The only purpose it served, it didn't prove a point. It didn't destroy this man's credibility. Didn't do anything other than disrupt a community.
What we did was fucked up. It was a fucking retarded, stupid decision that we made in a moment of panic, which we immediately regretted. And then we just had to get real life, pack up our stuff and move, because we had cops coming to our door for fake wellness checks. We had an ex-girlfriend who proudly posted a video of her trying to push her way into our apartment. I don't know what she was thinking by posting that, but she did. And Kate was assaulted and scratched. Not hurt badly, but whatever, enough. And we just reached a point where we just said, screw this. Screw YouTube. And we watched all the betrayals happen on YouTube. And, you know, friends that used to be our friends, you know, I'm not going to mention any names, turn on each other. Just the entire thing became just this disgusting, awful situation. And we won out. And that's all we wanted was peace, just to live our lives, our little life alone. And we fucked up though. And you know what else, Will, you brought this up earlier. We kind of forgot that people actually really cared about us. And there's the Ex-Varnas and the Toots and the U's and so many people that we really fucking let down. And no one's more aware of it than us. We hated doing this. But our life became unlivable. Every knock at the door became just fucking PTSD, and it was just too much. And yeah, it was a horrible decision.
Try to disappear. I got it. I get it. But the fact that you guys took it this far, it's like, at least these other people like Kaylee and the other channels who do that horrible stuff, at least they own it. Right now, you guys aren't even owning it and taking accountability. You're just giving excuse after excuse.
We fucked up. Like we got trapped in a fucking web of lies and just thought it was easy.
You're saying but without saying but constantly.
Look, dude,
that's what she's trying to say.
If you don't think that me apologizing or Kate apologizing for what we did truthfully and how much we hurt people we cared about, if you don't think that's taking accountability, and
not
also
when it's I don't think it is when it's followed up by but we had no other choice, but we didn't see another way out, because you're passing blame on other people and you're deflecting and gaslighting from the actual fucking situation.
Where's the gaslighting? What are you talking about?
I want to ask a serious question, though. I want to ask a serious question. Would you two have come on here if Bridget hadn't made the allegations that she made?
No.
Would you come
No,
on
they
here?
already said no.
No, they wouldn't have. No.
We would not have. No.
Right.
That's because
so how the fuck do you expect us to believe that you're coming up here and actually sorry for something?
You're only
How
on
do you
here to
expect us
clear
to
your
believe that?
name. You're not
That's
on
it.
here to
Our name
apologize.
is clearable. Look,
Yeah,
our name isn't. No, hang on. Our name. Look, we already accepted that we are YouTube trash at this point. We already accepted it. But once it came down to a monetary fraudulent claim from a sick human, that was enough for me. Yeah. So yes, that was the motivation. I was like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're
So
here
it's
to
not a
clear
true
your name,
apology.
not to apologize.
I see what she's saying. A true apology is if no one would have said anything, and then you would have came and said, "Look, guys, I fucked up, and this is really killing my soul as a human being."
We did that and continue to do that on our own. We have that with each other. But in all honesty, YouTube doesn't, like, we just want to live our lives. So it's more important that Kate and I and our little dog live our lives than that there was consequences for our actions. Did I want to do it all the time? Yes. We talked about it a lot, and we've consulted like our very, very good friends, and they're like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And even the cops actually said, don't do it. We have police reports a lot of them now, they're like, no, you're putting yourself in danger. Don't do it. And so, and I admitted clearly to the police when we got the fake first wellness check. I was like, here's what happened. We faked our YouTube death. Truthy's dead. And this is why they're coming after us. And they were like, stay dead. And that's what they told us. And I was like, yes. And everybody else was like, yes, but it doesn't mean we don't hurt. And I didn't know about Gelf at all. I heard from Paige, we won't say her screen name, but we've been in contact with her the whole time. And she told us that Gelf wasn't doing well. And we actually really do care about Gelf and Xvarna and Toots.
So did you reach out to Gelf when you heard that?
That person, whoever she is, whoever Paige, that screen name is, she owes the community an apology too. She owes the community an apology because this is, look, I mean, she's a culprit. She could have completely and totally relieved everyone of this weight they were carrying this entire time. She could have done that. She could have come to you and been like, listen, man, what you did was fucked up. And
and she did because she didn't know. She didn't know.
Fair. To Alyssa, Annie.
What?
No. Listen, Alyssa had gotten involved with this situation because I was trying to take a step back from social media and I was trying to do the things, work in a direction where life wasn't being absorbed by it all the time. And I needed some help. And so I took that direction. Unfortunately, as you guys both know, this narrative took a different direction very quickly online with Kay's show. It fed into Courtney's own feelings of jealousy. And Annie, I know you're sitting there thinking, oh, but he didn't want to see his kid. That's not true. I did try to see Phoenix multiple times. The second time I tried to see him, she said she needed calendar time for it. Sure, go for it.
Can I ask you a question? So you needed to get more, figure out how to manage your social media time or whatever you just said, and enlist this community manager, Alyssa. How does learning how to manage your social media and time management require her to have a toothbrush at your house?
She didn't. What are you talking about? A toothbrush?
And an overnight bath.
I bought a new toothbrush that's
and
sitting
toiletries.
What are you talking? This is nonsense.
There aren't toiletries of hers next to your sink?
I have a new bag of Sophie's that's sitting in there that are toiletries.
You don't have anything.
What is it
hers.
exactly that she's been gone for a month? She left a month ago. And she's
I'm not asking about when she left.
Like, how does this work?
I'm not asking about when she left. I'm asking about whose stuff is there.
Annie.
Yeah.
I'd rather not get into relationship details with my wife online. It's something
you don't need to get into details. I'm just asking you one question.
Michael, real quick.
This isn't fair, guys.
If I could interject here for a second, I mean,
go for it.
And I don't mean any disrespect here, but I got to call a spade a spade. The fact of the matter is it's not really fair for you to all of a sudden say that these things about me are private when you have been consistently very public.
No. Yeah, you're right.
Time. So all of a sudden, when it's inconvenient for you, it's not really, you know what I mean?
No, it's not about it being inconvenient for me. It was about me actually. So Andy's saying that the plan was to actually make some sort of announcement today. That wasn't it. It had been
that's
pushed
what Alyssa
on
said,
so hard.
and that's why that's what Alyssa said. And
She
she's
was
your community
asking if
social
that's what
media
I-
manager.
Annie, hold tight, please. Alyssa was saying in the call earlier that we were on, she was talking about whether or not that was something that was going to be announced. I wasn't prepared to do that. In fact, you and I talked about this, and you said, whatever you do, please be respectful. Of course, that was never going to be any different. And you and I talked about that. Like, I think Courtney has
I
been
told you whatever you do,
amazing
you need to be
in
respectful
trying
of
to
Courtney.
Okay, well, this isn't respectable to any of the situation. And I don't feel like coming online and going live. You guys could come back to me if you want to discuss the details of what happened tonight. Because you two, especially, and I have had a canon enough conversations in the background about this stuff that we could have discussed it. But there are two sides of what's going on here. And I too have feelings about it. Annie, you're getting a narrative. You want bank statements? Fine. You want to see them? Fine.
Okay,
Right, that's
great.
what you want to look at? Fine. it's like what I told you is true. She actually does manage the finances. She did leave. Yeah, she left a month ago. At first, it was supposed to be for a few days. I've been dealing with my daughter feeling crushed since her departure because Courtney simply just didn't come back after those couple days.
So
Suddenly, it was all these other problems.
Can you answer another question though? When you were going to go out there to see her in Phoenix and you were halfway there and got a text message from somebody who I won't release their name, and you said you took that as a sign from God and you turned not to see them?
No, that's not how it went down though. That is not what happened. I got
You didn't text her that.
That's not you're gonna have to show me the text, but that's not what I was meaning or saying.
You didn't say I took it as a sign that I shouldn't come see you and I'm turning around.
Do you want me to go look for my text messages, or actually I'll send you screenshots of them if you want to look at my text messages and analyze the way that I communicated. But that's not what happened. I got there, and what I personally shared with my wife was that when I got out there to see her, that all the lights were off and everything was quiet, and I took it as a sign from God that I shouldn't go forward. And I when I went out there the first time, it was kind of this hopeful feeling that maybe we could meet up and talk. Didn't work out. The second time I went to go out, she told me she'd need to find time in her calendar for me to see her in Phoenix. I actually was asking to arrange a picnic. All right. And fine. So then it got put off. And then shortly thereafter, she's like, oh, you should have come out anytime. And I was like, that's not the way it works. You took our family vehicle. Like, I don't have the ability to just go willy-nilly anytime I want. Not to mention there's a lot of other things going on this end. But this really isn't a matter. And Will, I understand what you're saying about my life being public, but when I put that out about my daughter, it wasn't for my entire life to be public, y'all. Like, and this was a sensitive situation with Courtney, and I want to make sure that it remains respectful. But
okay, let me just ask you this then.
But the thing is, in a situation like this, Michael, you have to admit that your image matters. You know, and there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people here in this chat right now that have supported you. I agree. Whatever's going on, they've got your back. And right now, they also feel and they're aware of the fact that Courtney has done a lot in favor of Sophie, in favor of protecting your kids. So they're upset right now because they feel that the image that you're projecting currently is someone who is completely taken her for granted.
I'd like to add something if I can.
Sure, please.
I just had a couple things. It's more, okay, so I agree with this whole focusing on the family, and Sophie obviously will always come first. And for me, there's two things, is when Amanda and I both, said we want to take a step back because to focus on our families, because at this point all it was becoming is just drama. There's nothing but drama. There's no updates on the kids. Nothing's moving forward in the case at this time. You don't even have lawyers now, apparently. And so for me, it's like you could have also taken that opportunity to be like, you know what, I could also, but instead chose to make another group, which brings me to my second question of, I remember when the groups were down, you thought it left Sophie vulnerable. Sophie didn't have her voice. I want to know, what does this new group do that's benefiting Sophie? You want healthy dialogue for what? For drama? That's all it's going to cause is more drama. It's people who disagree that are going to maybe have a conversation, but at any point, is that helping Sophie have a bigger voice? Because I don't see that.
Oh, you guys suggested the family.
All right, I'm letting someone else on panel here real quick. Okay, Ashley.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, so first off, I want to start by saying, Michael, I'm absolutely disgusted by the lies I've been listening to you spew for the last however long this live has been going on. No, I'm going to finish what I have to say. I'm going to finish what I have to say. You're lying to people about what happened. You're lying.
You're Courtney's sister?
Yes.
Okay. Please go on.
You're lying to people about what happened to the group. You got called out in the moderator group chat for texting other women into the middle of the night. And then all of a sudden the group was archived and people were being told that the account had been hacked. And that was a bold-faced lie.
That's not the order happening, actually. Actually, that's not what
That's
happened at all.
exactly, Michael, that's exactly what happened. You need to quit the lies. Stop
That is
lying to
not
people, Michael.
okay.
It
This is
is.
enough.
And
This is enough.
let's
This is
address
not
the
what happened.
elephant in the room. Who's Alyssa? Why is this woman in your home that you share with your wife and children? What was that woman doing there in her PJs on your couch, looking comfy as fuck? What's going
She
on,
was
Michael?
in
Tell the truth. Quit
PJs.
lying.
Wow. Okay, Ashley, this is super constructive. She wasn't in her pajamas, but thank you. She was actually working
If
on
she
the
was,
group.
quit. Oh my God, lie after
What the
lie
hell are
after
you talking
lie.
about? Okay, thanks, Ashley. Super constructive. Really appreciate this, Gail. It's great. Just like
More
your sister
importantly,
Lauren Sprindle.
why were her toiletries all over your bedroom? The bedroom you share with your wife,
This
who you're still married to,
okay.
with a Polaroid picture of her
Again,
in your vanity mirror
narrative.
with a sweet little love note.
Narrative. Okay, cool.
It's just
This has
lie
been
after
fun,
lie
y'all.
after lie. It's disgusting, Michael. It's disgusting. This
Thanks, Ashley.
should be about the children. They are the victims here,
Oh
and this
my
is where the
God.
focus needs to be. You need to focus on your family.
Okay, so
Your
why are we all
family
talking about
needs
this?
you.
Why are we talking about this? This is not what
Because
this is about.
because
You're
this is what
literally
it's
coming
about.
on here to say this. The same thing that your sister said to Annie in private. Cool. That's good. I just already discussed it all. I'm not going to do it again. Why are we repeating this?
Wait,
Because
we
you were
doing this
saying that that wasn't the case and that wasn't true, and it was just a spun
With what?
narrative.
With what? What are we addressing again?
Well, like I guess, and Ashley, you can chime in. Of course, I don't want to speak for you or anything, but the archives of the group, you were saying that it got hacked and everything was shut down, but didn't you
They didn't get
archive the
hacked.
groups?
No, I archived the groups, and it was later that morning when Courtney went out there and said, "Hey,
No,
why don't you ask
I can
Amanda because
speak
they were
on
on a
this
late
one.
night texting."
That's absolutely a lie, Michael. Immediately, I'm not even kidding. Within 10 minutes of Courtney addressing that in the group chat, the fact that you're texting other women into all hours of the night, the group was archived.
I can actually test on this
What
one.
are you talking
Hold
about?
on. I can do this one.
Recorded.
I'm not happy with Michael right now, but I will say this is how it went. The groups were archived in the middle of the night while we were all sleeping. The
Well-
next morning in the group chat, we asked, why are all the groups archiving? That's when Courtney replied and said, I don't know. I noticed Michael was talking to so-and-so, and maybe she knows why. So that's how it went down. Michael did archive the groups before Courtney did do the text. I'm in the group chat.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was mistaken. Yeah, no, immediately after that is when he removed her from the group chat.
That's when, yes, as soon as she posted the screenshots of his text messages, he took her out of the group chat. That is true.
Oh, he's out.
He didn't like what I had to say.
Damn.
Sorry.
Well, I mean,
Damn, Michael Long speechless?
It's a first.
homie had it coming, man. Looks like,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, Ashley, I know you know that I've been talking with Court, and I just want to say to you too, like, I'm so sorry that you guys are going through this, and I'm so sorry she's going through this. This is complete and total bullshit.
Now, finally, we are on to the second part, Glare versus the mods. The mods and the subscribers that he treated like disposable garbage. Please, try to be kind and human. Thank you.
You slide on to your YouTube like you were walking a red carpet. Your hat strategically covering your gray hair. Chain smoking cigarettes. You have one eye on your live stream feed. You watch yourself tell lies. Trashing that girl, though you called her your right hand. You called her your right hand, and you're so vain. You probably think this live is about you. You're so vain. You think this channel and its content's about you. Don't you? Don't you? Well, you fooled me 24 months ago when I was still quite naive. When you said that you made the Glare name to provide psychological release. But you threw away those principles when you hooked up with Truthy. Smoking that weed while you're drowning in oak leaf. We're drowning in oak leaf and you're so vain. You probably think this live is about you. You're so vain. You think this channel and its content's about you, don't you, don't you, don't you? Smoking that weed and drowning in oak leaf. We're all drowning in your oak leaf and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. Telling people I made a channel about you, don't you, don't you? Well, I've really been forced to be here, so I'm a little bit, I don't know. I'm a little bit upset. I didn't really want to do this, and I'm still not going to do it how some people would like for me to. I'm not going to sit and go through the insane amount of chatter that's been going on. And, you know, I'm just going to bring some receipts and put some things to rest, you know, and we'll just hope that things will simmer down. It's really, 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 really hard to even know where to begin when things have been going on for what, you know, you've been around the whole time since the very beginning of the conception of somebody's channel, even before that. And, you know, and then you end up modding for them for about 13 months. And gosh, guys, the last, I don't even know how many months have been pretty crazy. I haven't been having fun, that's for sure. It went from like a really nice, fun vibe that was very loving and just like a lot of fun, man. And each day got worse and worse. And I don't know why. I think that, you know, we could blame the pandemic. We could blame whatever we want. But whenever it comes right down to it, we're all responsible for our own actions. And you definitely have to take a personal accountability. And I'll say it again. I don't know how many times I've said this since all this crap went down. I've found myself kind of, you know, I found myself kind of dragged into a lot of things. But I am loyal to a fault. I mean, to a fault. And I should have just not. But, you know, we're all stupid sometimes, right? I mean, I don't know how else to put that. I can't say that I regret anything because I've met some really, really great people. But I can say that I should have made some different decisions along the way. And maybe I should have, I don't know, man. I really feel like I did everything I could and that things would eventually be chill, you know, and I knew I had to walk away and do what's right for my health. This timeline's pretty interesting, actually. One of the girls in group shared something, and it's really good. It says, if I ever decide to give up on you, you need to understand how much that took out of me. I'm the type who gives endless chances, always has your back, and truly accepts you for who you are. When the rest of the world doesn't want you, I will. So if I decide to give up on you, please understand that it took everything that was left inside of me to leave you alone. Except for, in this case, when you decide to walk away, you're not just losing that one friend, right? Like you're disturbing an entire community. And I think a lot of us take the community pretty seriously. You know, we really value each other and have really loved each other and been through just kind of like a lot of hell, right? So it's just really hard once you get wrapped up into the middle of a ton of people to just walk away. And I know that sounds so lame and like you should just be able to, but I think a lot of people know that it's just not that easy. So one thing I noticed as I was modding, people kind of drop off like flies. You could never really be sure why. Just one day they were there,
and everything was gravy, and the next day they'd be gone. And that was a little bit disturbing. I spoke with some of them, and of course talked to the creator about it, because I really wanted to know where friends went, man. Like, what the hell? There was nothing that I saw publicly or heard about privately that would warrant them just being gone. And then I started to find out they weren't just gone, they had been blocked. And it was for various reasons. I'm not going to share anybody's personal information that I don't think I have permission to, because it's just not who I am. And so I have to kind of be careful how I approach things here, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I've noticed this week that you don't have to try. Sometimes nothing is good enough, and that's just what it is. And you know what? That's okay too, you know? It really is. I want to take time to welcome everybody again, and I want to throw out some trigger warnings. I think we all need to remember the sensitive topic at hand, and we all need to remember that everybody feels differently about different things. So, like, I may even say something that may offend one of you guys, you know. I'm not trying to, for sure, but I'm not perfect. We all know that, right? Like, who here is perfect? All right, thanks, guys. Sorry, this is really hard on me. I may kind of bounce around, and I definitely don't mean to. But there's been so many things thrown my way, man. Like 4.5 hours of live streams. I don't even know how many emails, 52 texts, 85 DMs, and a partridge in a pear tree, man. It's like I can't keep up. I'm overwhelmed. My heart hurts. I don't know what to believe. I don't know who to trust. Sounds a little bit paranoid. I know I have people I can trust. I know I have people that love me. So basically, there's a few topics that are going to need to be covered. Give you guys kind of an order of service here. We've already done our greeting. We're definitely going to cover some of the bull crapola that got thrown at me by a creator, or actually two creators, coincidentally. We'll be covering a couple of the mod situations that recently happened, because I think the truth and transparency is important. We'll cover why it's not a good idea to get involved if you don't know anything. We'll cover the poor woman whose name has been dragged, and she has been slut shamed when I don't even feel like she was being slutty. I don't know what all the YouTube words are, so I'm trying to be careful. Not that I care for monetization, just I don't want to offend anybody. And I know this is kind of dinner time for some of you, so I don't want to be rude. We'll definitely talk about money, because that's been brought up. Oh, man. And then we'll go on into the true point of this evening. I hope things will roll well. I know a couple of people have had some pretty harsh accusations thrown at them this week, and they would like to be able to say a few things, and I'm going to allow that to happen. Mods, just remember I can't see chat. Be cool. If you have questions later, we can do some questions, but I can't even see anything right now. So why don't, Gladys, you can text me, or why don't you actually even call me if something goes wrong? So I'll know. So, man, the way I look at this is silence is complicity. And I learned during all this, it's important to have your own voice. I was forced to give myself a voice during some things that were going on, because I kept getting lumped into a group of people. And I understand why. I'm not dumb, but I don't really understand the mentality. I feel like in the year 2021, we should know that there are different people. And because of that, like, the diversity we've all learned to, and I feel like I've been stuck in kind of a bad game of chess that's like never ending. There have been things that have been said since this creator blew up on me. One of which that people like to repeat. It was like a catchphrase, and it kind of makes me laugh, but then again, it kind of pisses me off because I think it got kind of blanketed onto all of us, and I don't think that's fair, but I guess life isn't fair. But that whole did you get played or did you play along bit, man, you can't play a player. So I think there's our answer. You know, there's many things to this dynamic that I could bring to a better understanding. But I told him I would never do that. And I'm not going to now. But I needed to walk away for a lot of reasons. And I guess maybe, yeah, I should have just sent a message and said, you're a dick. And it's always slight twists and half truths and excuses, hiding key info about something you asked me to do, sometimes things that cause me major grief. I know you're like, say no. That doesn't go well, man. I've already shared a little bit of how it goes when I try to tell you no. I get bullied and badgered, and you're like not calling me names, but that doesn't make it less bullying. So that's very stressful, especially when you're like a people pleaser. It was one of your really long time mods. Like, just talk to people like they're dirt. She didn't do anything but tell you she had the proof you were so desperately saying didn't exist. You know, like, how many people have been dirt and dust now? Migs, Wicked, Doodle, Holly, Angelina, Rosalang, Gladys, Don't Mess with Texas, me. There's more, especially if you want to go into the subs and people who had contributed large amounts financially just to be blocked for no reason. You know, my God. Like I said, I'm going to be bouncing around. I'm sorry. You know, I did the best I could. But at the same time, you know, homie just wants to lie all the time. So let me show a good comparison here since he's too dumb to read between the lines. Let me see if I can do this right, guys. Please bear with me. And you know, Soul Sister, I'm not actually like homeless. I have a place to stay, but all my crap is in like a storage. I don't have a home. And that's just one of the things that was going on. At the time when all this went down. So let's see if I'm doing this correctly. I am. I'm not going to make this big until I have it for sure where I want. I did the best I could to crop and do everything I could like that, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So y'all bear with me. I'm sorry. Uh-oh. I seriously have no clue what I'm doing. Did I just mess everything up? No, I didn't. Okay, cool. So you can see there's audio calls here. One day we spoke back to back 30 minutes and an hour and 25 minutes. You know, whenever you do everything that I was doing for the creator, you definitely end up talking with them a lot, or I did. Not just for the creator, but because, you know, I thought he was my friend. But some people don't even know how to have friends. Here's another call here for 53 minutes. I ain't going through my last year of crap, guys. Like, it's not going to happen. And I didn't even talk to him in Messenger that long because, frankly, he just kind of seemed like a prick. Wasn't in a real big hurry to do that. Here's another phone call. 2 hours and 44 minutes. So when you look at that and you realize the amount of time we spent talking, a 20-minute video chat is, it's really pretty short. It's just not that, it's not that hard to see that when you're used to talking to somebody for very long periods of time, and then they call in the middle of the night in a video call, you're like, oh my God, what's going on? Everybody knows I'm awake, right? But guys, it's just ridiculous, the things that have been said to try to discredit me and discount things that have gone on. And we were talking about Rosa Lang. Another thing that would make it very obvious that the outline is what I was talking about. Let me pull this up again. Give me 1 second. Is this right here. Sorry this took so long, but it is a good outline and what I believe to be comprehensive AF. And now I have added skills to make sure that you have good clips to add. People love visual aids. We are more settled now, and I'm taking a few days to relax and reschedule everything. I'll be steady plugging away at part 3 during all of that, which I definitely tried to do. I tried to do as much as I could to get everything to you guys, because to me it was more than just a Baby Joe outline or a new case to follow. It was a way to get the train that had been barreling off the tracks for so long kind of maybe headed in the back like the wrong back in the correct direction, right? Like everything that's been going on has been so crazy, and again, I care about you guys, so it's really hard to watch that go down. And then all these like natural disasters and crap kept happening, it's like, you got to be kidding me. So, he likes to tell this story about how he's never close to anybody and they're just my mods and I don't want to be personal. And he made it look like all kinds of things. It was really cool how the first, and I do mean the first because it wasn't the first live that was done about me, actually included information from about 7 different people. But of course, I was the only one who, the only one that he referred to. So everybody thought that like everything was about me, and it's just not true. And it's really pretty asinine because I've got so many screenshots. Now y'all tell me, let me make it big. See if this helps. We see what I'm doing. So I love you and appreciate you. I'm just not an easy person to be close to. I never have been. I said, I love you too. And I consider you my friend. I hope you know that. You don't deserve for me to treat you like that. This is back in February the 8th, back that week, man. Oh, back when I was dumb enough to defend people who did not deserve it. When I was playing Captain Save a Ho Ho Ho. And I was cussed out and treated so horribly, like so horribly. He apologized, sure. After he gaslit the hell out of me in a video called Open Letter to That Girl. I thought about playing it tonight, but I don't know. For the first time, since all the feuding's been going on, I understand why people say his face makes them sick. Because I now share in that sentiment, to be honest. So on the 7th is whenever he tripped out on me. And he also flipped the hell out in the chat of that. And attacked me and attacked my character. So, back to this phone call. Let's skip to another part here real quick, guys, because you almost have to in order to create an understanding. Really sucks because almost everything I have shared to this point in my previous videos, I had permission to share, especially whenever it came to the female creator. I definitely asked because of just everything, There's a few things I'm going to read to y'all, and then others that I will show. Sorry, I keep umming. It's hard not to cry. It's really hard when you think somebody is your friend and they care about you. And then you find out they don't. So it's really interesting. It is. Let's see. So there was actually a reason, like right whenever I hung up with him after the video call, I called a friend because I was uncomfortable. I have a history and a past of abuse, and there are certain things that make me uncomfortable when maybe they shouldn't. And so sometimes I ask other people around me. I've been in counseling this year and trying to learn really good boundaries and learn how to perceive things through more of just a human eye than a survivor's eye. But one thing I've noticed this last week is the abuse that occurred in my childhood is ingrained in every aspect of my life. From being uncomfortable when a quote unquote friend calls you and happens to be a male in the middle of the night and is shirtless, and you don't normally have that kind of relationship. I wasn't at the beach. I wasn't in public. And we've been through so much this last month. I mean, at that point, it had only been 30 days since you cussed me out and completely degraded me. So much has happened. I've lost my home. I've lost friends. My family members have lost family members in tragic murders. My husband ripped his ear off. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but this isn't about me. It's about your victims. It's about not treating people like they're disposable. And if you do, expect to get called on it.
Person.
It's not
You're-
smart.
You're just a genuine person and you're kind to a fault. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I just look at it all and I'm like, wow, how did this happen? And why is this happening? And not like a pity party, but like trying to learn a lesson, because there has to be something to take away, right? Like there has to be. And after the nonstop assault on me for the last 4 days or so, I realized why me? And that's because I'm the only one out of everybody that this has happened to that has a voice that is strong enough to be heard.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
But that doesn't mean that I want to be forced to be screaming from the mountaintops. Because when you go and you look at everything that's happened, and I've been digging through everything for a week to protect myself from somebody who was supposed to be my friend. And I knew this would happen when I walked away. You knew, I told you. You see things in such a different light and so much more clear. And it's really hard to come in front of a bunch of people and be like, holy shit, all those people who were mean to me and ragging on me were right. It's embarrassing. It's degrading. It's humiliating. And I think that's why people like this act like they do, because they know that. But I'm going to be quiet because I need a minute. So I'm just going to let you talk about whatever you want to talk about, because quite frankly, until you said it earlier, I knew I had called you and talked to you because I didn't just want to talk to somebody that knows me. I wanted to ask people who know him. And I also asked someone who had been in an uncomfortable situation with him before as well, and had forgiven him because it wasn't anything big, just like mine wasn't. So I felt like it was like a good perspective, and that completely backfired for me into a week of hell. So I'm going to mute my mic for a minute, and I'll be
And we're
back.
talking about the call, right?
Yeah, the call, like
Okay.
when I called you in the
Okay.
middle of the night after the video call.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So when the infamous shirtless call went down, um, that girl knows that I'm up all hours of the night. Insomnia rocks. So she actually, like, it had to have been immediately after she got off the phone with that certain someone that was shirtless that she called me, and she's like, dude, I'm sorry to disturb you if you were sleeping or whatever, but I just had a really weird phone call and I'm not sure how to take from it or what I should take from it, or if I'm just reading too much into it. So I need to run this by you or somebody to either validate or tell me I'm just making this up in my mind. And she told me the situation and what had happened, and that, she just felt very uncomfortable being on this phone call with a man who is not her husband, who is not her child, is of no relation. I think that would still be weird even if it was of relation. Uh, that he was on the phone with her for however long with no shirt on, and she felt extremely uncomfortable, and it was immediately after she got that phone call. So the whole narrative of it being weeks or months after that phone call took place suddenly she has an issue, it's not the case whatsoever, because she called me the second that phone call took place and told me or asked me how I would take from it, and I'd be like, absolutely, I would be uncomfortable. Like, that should make any woman uncomfortable, especially a married woman at that. Like, sure, you could say all day long, man, definitely, to promote your channel, definitely you should wear more tank tops or do this or do that to promote his channel. Not, hey, you should call me shirtless because I think that would benefit your channel to have a private
Yeah, like,
conversation.
let's have a private broadcast, you creep. Come on, man.
Yeah, no, not at all. So, you could say all day long that, oh, well, she was telling me, to be shirtless and all this stuff on my channel. So why all of a sudden is she taking offense to me being shirtless calling her? Because you're not her man. You are a friend, and a male friend, any male, even my 15-year-old son knows. Put your freaking shirt on, dude. It's called having class. It's a little bit of dignity, some respect for the other person you're talking to. You may be cool with it, but that doesn't mean the person on the other receiving end is okay with you being shirtless. However good looking or morbidly awful it may be, it doesn't negate the fact that put your freaking shirt on. It totally made her uncomfortable the minute she got off the phone. It was not months or weeks
Yes, it
after.
did happen just shortly after the video that I came on. I regret it, but I don't, because I felt like my community deserved for me to look them in the eye and let them know, hey, this is happening and I need your help,
Yeah, it definitely happened right after you showed your face suddenly.
And I'm not saying anything. I didn't like it. And I want to ask you, did I say at any point in time that I felt violated or like he was a predator?
No, not at all. You were like, dude, like if a friend called you, like it was always, he's my friend. Like I don't look at him like that. So it made me very uncomfortable. It was always, he is my friend. And it made me uncomfortable for a multitude of reasons. But, I'm married. It's the middle of the night. This guy's my friend, shirtless. Never once was it, did you call me, or did I get the impression of it being, you accusing him of being a predator or doing any of the absolutely ridiculous things that he is claiming.
I know. And I told you that he did not hit on me, that I did not feel like he had hit on me. I did not feel like that he had exposed himself to me. Like the lowest his camera went was his navel. But if it was indeed an accident, why are you moving your camera all around? Like I went out back to smoke and I propped mine up on a table against a flower pot and literally looked away most of the time. He laughed at the look on my face when I answered, because I got this jacked up look on my face like, whoa, what up, yo? Why you calling? Like that's literally what I said. Literally. So after the Baby Joe part 2, which was a disaster because the creator was in another creator's chat flirting and being whatever, which is fine, their prerogative. But when you know you have a live set, it would be more important to be there getting ready rather than leaving everybody wait for half an hour because that's rude. One of the best parts of accountability is going to be like punctuality, right? That just doesn't happen. And then opened up with a video that was actually the beginning of part 3, which I'd already been working quite hard on. And I could like read this big long conversation, but the point is that he nagged me and nagged me and nagged me to get this outline done. And Gladys can even attest to this. I was like, look, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I don't have the time. I'm trying to move out of my flooded place. We went without electricity and had to stay with family for like almost 6 days. We get home. We have no running water. The place is flooded. Like everything's a disaster. We're having to hurry up and move because there's no maintenance people to come pull out the wet carpet. And I can't be around mold and mildew because of my my illness. It's like exacerbated by it. So we're doing all this. And he's like, well, I need part 2. I need part 2. And I was like, well, I don't have part 2 done. You know, simple solution, go live about something else. No, the simplest solution is part 2 to get done. And why can't your right hand be an extension of you? And just this really delusional thinking. And so I did. I called Glad and I was like, hey, you know, can you do this? And you can go ahead and tell him what you said, Glad.
I believe at that point I had just laughed because we had already been working on that entire case for weeks. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Because I mean, shoot, the case has been going on since 2018. So we were putting in work. I mean, hours upon hours upon hours upon hours
Of digging and watching and digging and reading and watching. And yes.
Oh my word. That was so much. So yeah, when she sent me that message and she was like, so, hey, here's what I was just told. What do you think? And I laughed. And I'm like, no, we can't. It's not going to happen. Not if we want to present this in a respectful way and we come with the facts. It's not going to happen.
I see in the chat, use initials, not names, please. I don't know if I really care. Yeah, and I'll get to that in a minute, but just be respectful. You know what I mean? So if you can't be respectful, yeah, sure, use some initials, whatever. Sorry, Gladys, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. I mean, that was pretty much it. I kind of laughed at it. And I think it was more funny to both of us that he referred to me as your right hand and not your friend.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Really got a kick out of that.
No. The best part was get her in touch with me. Like he doesn't know who the F you are.
Right. Like I've never had a conversation with the dude before. Never. I wasn't his mod. I wasn't an admin in his Facebook group. Like I had no communication with him prior, which is crap. He knows exactly who I am.
Oh yeah.
No, you want to talk to me, you know how to get a hold of me. Don't go. And that pissed me off.
What am I, a secretary?
I'm not that girl.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Right,
I'm not that
right.
girl either. Captain,
No.
I am.
And if you wanna
I'm
get to
glad
me,
you're
you know where
here.
to find me.
I didn't have a good email address for you, Captain. I did yoink an image from you for my memorial service. You'll see that later. So I'm so glad you said that, though. I've been cringing so bad watching that one female creator throw herself at him and dismiss his deplorable behavior. It is gross as frack. I agree. And again, I had to actually ask, hey, should this be creeping me out this much? Yeah. And if we're talking about this creator, no, don't say her name in my chat. She can, no. It's almost as cringy as having a channel that's only about bashing and degrading and following and picking to pieces a woman that we all know has mental health issues. And that's your only content. And telling her to keep coming at you because it's going to make you famous. It's gross. It's gross. Just as gross as you trying to assume that I'm a mod gone bad because some ill-informed Yet another creator with no life or real content decided to stick their face in my business. Like, it's gross, it's tacky. Like, I just, there's my noises, Gladys. You know me, whenever I'm finally to the end of my rope with something, I'm just, I can't do it. Like, I can't. So here's what you do. He says, have anyone who thinks it's their business, who I wrench or who wants to know, write me. And I said, they know you won't respond, Will. Took me a while to respond. So I said, sorry, I was on the phone. I have to make a few phone calls. I'll be back. Because I was not giving it priority because I was too annoyed. And he said, that's because it's none of their business. Well, here's where I'm coming from with everything, you guys. You truly don't get it, dude. This is me speaking. It amazes me sometimes how you miss the connection between inserting yourself into people's hearts and minds and doing things that affect them directly, and yet think it isn't their business. They're the only reason you have an audience at all. Homie says, are they? With a little scratchy chin thing. And I said, yes, the people who follow you are your audience. Like, without them, you haven't got one. No, they're valued to me as an audience, but that does not mean that I have to answer to anyone in all caps as to the decisions that I make with my channel. The decision on who has a wrench or who does not is mine and mine alone. End of the story. I didn't try to argue with him over her having a wrench because, frankly, I don't care. I've watched her. That sounded bad. I just don't care who has a wrench and who doesn't. There's been a few people that shouldn't have a wrench. He didn't care, so why should I, right? But like in this case, I've actually seen Rosa Lane get upset because of speculation happening in true crime chat, the true crime chats, which I get. I see where her heart's coming from, and it's the respectful place to come from, but it's also silly with true crime. So it's not maybe even the best fit anyways. So what I got upset with about was I'm blocking her. And he's not even going to say anything. Well, I've already been through that so many times. I am so sick of having to explain to people who have donated tons of money to him and spent tons of time on him, for him, with him, just to be pissed to the wind. And it's like, not my job. Be a man. You hear me? Do you hear that? Be a man. Do it yourself. And I did say that he was putting me in an awkward position, like I would either have to tell her or act like I didn't know. And I did talk about talking to her, but I never said, I may have said, I guess I better go message her. Maybe I decided not to. I don't know. Either way, it's not my job. Like, it's not my place. So I said, telling the person you gave the axe to why beforehand is common courtesy. Come on now, especially with how she met him and how long she had been helping. And also, like, common courtesy. So come on now, you're not that dumb. People get attached. They notice when someone disappears. As far as the comment about part 3, that was the second time I sent it. You for sure opened your chat. Oh, he had made a layman excuse. Oh, I fell asleep, which was a lie because he was actually in, I think, Darling Nikki's chat getting drunk that night. So just lies. It's like I said, lies, half-truths, manipulations, lots of pretzel logic. Too bad I don't like pretzels, right? I said, that was the second time I sent it. You for sure opened your chat after the first time, just saying, like, that is BS. Who has a wrench is damn sure your decision alone. It is your channel. How you choose to let go of people is also. It is all completely up to you. As we've discussed before, your decision also reflected on me. Just like last night, you skipped a 2-minute clip that said who the search for me guy was and big cases that he had solved. So when you go on to play the clip, everyone wants to know who he is. So instead of educating, you're creating confusion that takes away from the new facts that get presented. All these things connect and make a big picture. Sorry, I had a typo. You're not dumb. You know all this. So who heard me say that it was my channel and I was making any rules? Like, right? So here's the response. I alone decide what I do with my channel. If you feel differently about that, I don't know what to tell you. I can't be any clearer about that. As far as quote unquote common courtesy, when we spoke about it, you laughed. I didn't think it was funny. I did laugh. It was ridiculous. Like, you are 45 and you're acting like you're 12. what am I going to do? Cuss you out so you can go publicly and smear my name like you did the last time that you got mad for no reason? Come on. Like, come on. Give me. Back to what he's saying. I just didn't want to deal with the back and forth that would have come with when it comes to her. You stated you were going to tell her before the live, which is, again, whatever. It made sense to me because you speak with her. I don't. If you're unhappy or displeased with the decisions I make or how I execute them, you have every right to either put up with it or not. I appreciate your help with research and outlines, but at no point do I recall asking for your help in making these types of decisions. And I don't recall offering my help, but whatever. I digress. Here we go. He says, I don't need a morality check from you or anyone else. I explain why I took her wrench. I also explain why I didn't see the need to explain why, since my mind was not going to be changed about it. It's not the end of the world. I simply didn't think that she was a right fit for my mod team. Ultimately, now as far as delivering the material you put together for me in an unsatisfactory manner, easy solution, don't do it anymore. I'll take care of it myself. The last thing I would want is to minimize the work you did. Gas lighting motherfucker. You're so gross. So I went live and I was like, how can I do this? Like, whenever he said that to me about the just if you don't like it, just fuck you, basically. I was like, wow, okay, cool. That's where I left it. And I was pretty short after that because it was just like, I can't believe that I'm already dealing with this again. And, you know, again, he apologized. He did all that. We did he tried to pressure me into protecting him and coming to his channel to save face. You know, like, and I didn't want to do it. And then somebody went live and it was really, 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 really awful. And I took up for him because when something's wrong, something's wrong. Like, you don't do things that are wrong. You just, there's certain things you don't do. And even though somebody had wronged me, 2 wrongs don't make a right. So I stood up for him. I don't regret it because it was the right thing to do. It was really the right thing to do. So did my live. I'm trying to take a step back. A really sweet woman messages me. And, let me go backwards here. I'm sorry, guys. He did, because I couldn't get his second outline ready fast enough. He does another show, Speculations and Discussion. Well, the problem with that, she haven't learned enough about it to speculate anything. So we should have just named it Speculations and Misinformation. It was awful. I didn't really watch it. I was too busy. I was proud that he went ahead and stopped crying and shut up about how he wanted to be consistent. So he needed that outline. Well, fool, if you want to be consistent, make your own damn outline, do your own damn research. Stop doing whatever it is that you're doing that's more important to you than the people who pay you money to talk to them and do it, you know? And I can also show proof. You know, push that PayPal real hard tonight, but you don't care about money, right? Right? But I'm not going to spend my whole night talking about you. I'm going to bury you soon, honey. Buried and gone. Ooh, gone. You have no idea. I'm like deliriously tired and I'm over this shit. So, you have no idea. I'm like deliriously tired and I'm over this shit. So, let's talk about money. Everybody loves money, right? We all like money. He likes to bring up money. He likes to say how nobody gives him money. He doesn't make any money, right? Yeah, sure. So there was a woman who offered to help. And I was like, oh my God, thank you, baby Jesus. Not only is this person coming at me to help me, it's like at the most needed time. Like I was already trying to step out and step away. And I did so on my live. I was like, look, you guys, I need time, because every time I try to step away or anything bad happens, everybody's like, oh no, that girl. Because I don't know. I guess they're just so used to seeing us together. And there can be a good dynamic there when he's faking it. The dynamic y'all see is only, public. It's to save face. The mirror has 2 faces, you know. Both of them are pretty ugly. So, So I asked her, I'm like, would you please, you're going to look at my outline? I would love to have your help. Oh my God, please. Yes. Don't ever expect to hear from Will. He will not answer. So you'll basically be helping me because I was trying to create a smooth transition, and it was, it was a little bit selfish on my part, but I wanted out. Like, please let me out. So this is my email back to her. And I want you guys to tell me if this sounds like somebody who is going to get, what was the word that was used? I don't remember. So anyways, this sounds sad and very interesting. I know Will has a pretty one-track course with Baby Joe at the moment. I am so behind on emails, and mind you, he had been copied on this email too by her. I don't take any offense to any of this. She was afraid she was going to step on my toes by offering to help. I said, I promise you, I've actually been trying to think of a way to change some things and alleviate some of the stresses on my shoulders. I need to get caught up on all these emails. I know the last night was a flop between the internet and the skipping of parts. It created a whole lot of confusion. A lot of what I do currently, I cannot keep doing. I just don't have the extra time. So you offering help, or even to step up at all, is a gift from God, not an insult. Plus, it's very hard to pour myself into something and it not go well. I'm a Virgo. It's against everything in my nature, perfectionist to a fault. I'll happily send you the latest PDF I made so that you can get a feel. And it is more of like an outline, an organization of collection, and like collected news and articles and videos I dig up based off of a timeline. One I either find or create, depends on the case. So, I was just like really friendly with her. And so that email was on the 2nd. So this was the day after. So like, if I'm this raging, angry woman who's out to get him, why didn't I tell her the truth? Whatever. I did happen to find out later though, that she has health problems. So I did say, that maybe it's probably not a good idea for you to help, So when he did his discussions and misinformation live, or speculations and misinformation live, he started out by blaming his lack of material on me. Like literally blaming it on me and telling everybody that I was having to rebuild. First off, I didn't own a house to rebuild. I lived in an apartment. That was misleading. Second off, it isn't anybody's business what happened to us or what we were going through. I'm a private person. So it wasn't your business to blame me for your inability to be responsible for yourself and your content and get it going. I mean, like, give me an effing break. So he sat there and said everything about everything about my business. And people are asking to make a GoFundMe, which is horrifying because everybody knows what I just went through. I want nothing to do with a GoFundMe. Well, that night, the same woman that I'm talking about that offered to help with the lives sent me money to his PayPal. I had refused to give my PayPal information because, like I told him, I don't want these people's money. It's not why I'm here. I didn't want his money. His little peanuts. He gave me half of everything he made. My ass. I'll get to that. So here's proof that on the 25th of February, I was sent $100. Don't Mess with Texas wanted me to give you that. I was a little bit shocked. He didn't have to do that. Yes, Margaret, it's a total trigger word. I'm not looking at chat, but every now and then I see something and I saw the word trigger and I was like, oh no, what's happening in chat? Sorry, guys. So he did send that money, you're right. He said something about she sent him 120 for a monitor, like he sent her 320 total or something, and he had given me a third of it by giving me that. Well, homie, the problem with your story is y'all didn't have all that happen about the monitor and stuff, which I'm about to also bring the proof because you know me, bringing the proof. Let me zoom in just a little bit for you guys. See if that helps. Add to stream. Here we go. So on the 25th, for the amazing That Girl, from one Texan to another, I'm Don't Mess with Texas on YouTube. Also on the 25th, $100 for him. Thank you for bringing important topics to awareness for so many that might never have even known, blah, 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 blah. And then she sent him another 50 on March the 4th and another 50 on March the 6th. And the 120, where he says he then gave me the $100, didn't even happen until March the 7th. Like, homie, you can't keep your story straight. It's not a big deal. It's not the problem, not the issue, not at all. Not even why I started talking to her, honestly. Wasn't my business. I didn't care. I had an issue because I tried to send her work for an outline. She said she was willing to help. She says, well, why don't you send that to Will? I said, because Will doesn't do his own work. Why would I send it to him? Like, it's not even a joke. Like, literally, he doesn't do that. So it was weird. It just didn't make sense to me. But later on, things started making sense. That which is done in the dark will be brought to the light. And in this case, it really, really has been. Let me see, you guys. Give me just 1 second. So she came to me very upset because she had spent a lot of time on an outline, which I saw. He's a douche for saying it sucked. She definitely put time and effort into it. It was definitely noteworthy. He even made her make him a flow chart. Like, y'all think I'm a people pleaser, dude. So after I had apologized multiple times for her hurt feelings, I finally realized that it was him she was talking about and that he had just been really rude to her. And he says he didn't use her outline at all, but he did. He just skipped a couple of pages, which also horrified her because then she feels like she looks bad for not preparing information correctly, which is why I never even wanted anybody to know that I did his outlines ever. He just came out and said that before the Bridget Live because he needed y'all to stop bashing me in chat so that I would come back and do his work for him. So I was tired of typing. I was really tired at this point. I said, can you just call me here? She says, I'm only telling you, and I'll never talk badly about him to anyone. And I mean what I said. If he ever needs me, I'd be right there to do whatever I could. And she says, you mean audio call on here? Yeah, that's how he called me. Ha, ha, ha. You want me to now? I said, sure. Why not? You know, what else I got to do in the middle of the night? So I let her go after we talked. Interesting conversation. You know, there's a video that goes around that is of Will. He's like rolling a doob or whatever. And people like to say that it's a bag of like the Lola. It's not. It's so silly. So I said, I decided to eat some cereal too. I'm just so sorry that he upset you so badly. She says, I never told a soul. I never will. But watch that. And I said, girl, Will is a dick and a bad friend, but that's a rolling paper. So like even still taking up for him, like nobody's bashing, right? Like we had this conversation where we came against and we conspired and we decided to take you down. No, you crazy MFer. Nobody cares about you. I just wanted you to leave me alone. I was sliding about the back door, sliding up out the DMs, not into them, but out of them. I'm sure you noticed my silence. And then once again, I'm approached by a female in tears because you're a disrespectful douchebag. So again, here I am. No misconception of who Will is. Girl, Will is a dick and a bad friend. But that's a rolling paper. If y'all saw what I saw, gross. Homie, have some respect. I get people are freaky deaky and they do their own thing. I get it. I do. But let me tell you guys, oh, she unsent all her messages and that just means blah, 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 says the person who's sitting up there running their mouth about 7 different people acting like it's one and not bringing a single receipt. Okay. Why are y'all okay with that? Why do y'all think that's okay? Why does he get away with that? And then everybody's over here asking me questions based off what some drunk says on a live without any receipts. But yeah, I'm supposed to come with the receipts. Okay, sure. I'm not showing y'all how he talked to her. It was degrading. I'm vanilla. I get that. I was talking to Toots. And I'm vanilla. I get it. I get other people aren't. I'm going to stop there because it's nobody else's business. I think I talked to Miss Jen about it too. Like, I just am. But there was no rejection there. Like, none. She was not rejected. He's lying. He hurt her feelings because she did hours and hours of work and he didn't appreciate it. Period. She had given him hundreds of dollars. She sent him nudes. She talked dirty with him. And the second she realized, because he treated her like crap over an outline and then misrepresented the one he did do, she realized in 2 weeks, she's so much smarter than I am. She realized in 2 weeks, not only Yeah. Yeah, I did show a few people, so there would be proof, but it was nothing she said because thank God she deleted them. My God, what a douchebag. Like, if I realized somebody I had previously been attracted to and was talking to was this big of a douche canoe, I'd be deleting everything too. My God. But it doesn't change what he said and doesn't destroy the context either. So stop lying. Stop putting people's business out on the internet. It's not anybody's business that she sent you pictures of her titties, and the fact that a woman sat next to you, while you threw somebody else's business like that out on Front Street. I had to ask about that too. I won't even send my husband nudes. You want us to be naked, honey? Come home. Mama will be waiting on you. But I ain't sending you pictures. What if somebody steals your phone? That's embarrassing, okay? Like I said, vanilla, square vanilla, whatever. So guess what? She's a woman. Why are you slut shaming, Will? It's not okay. That's not proper etiquette, I found out. When you do nudes and send nudes and all that, you're not supposed to tell people. You're not supposed to show them. Thank God she unsent them. Thank God. I hope you didn't save them. But you may have, because you definitely weren't rejecting her. So I'd imagine it went into a spank bank with the rest of the people that you dupe. So again, those are a little bit too X-rated. I'm not going to show them. It wouldn't be appropriate. It's not necessary. I'm proving enough of his lies. I don't see where it's necessary to embarrass her any further than he already has. But I will tell you this. Due to some of the crap he talked about his mods this week, one of them wanted to take a handful of pills. Am I supposed to sit back and not do this live when you're running your disgusting, foul, perverted mouth spreading lies while somebody takes pills because you won't shut up about them? Lying over and over? Lies? I can tell. Yeah, she shared her pictures. She shared a fake one as first, and he kept pushing for more. How do I really know that's you? How do I know you're not a troll? How do I know you're not trying to victimize me? It was gross. How about this? I want to see your lady bits. Show me. How about that? Like, why are you pressuring, you sick fuck? At least a dozen outlines I did for him, because even when Siren prepared a show, he still wanted me to make him an outline so he knew what Siren was going to talk about, because I don't know, I guess he thinks he's some kind of celebrity and shouldn't have to talk to other people. I don't know. It's real weird. It's quite delusional, honestly. It really is. It's quite delusional. So he sent me a couple of PayPals, He didn't start sending them till January. I don't find it to be a coincidence that within 30 days of him donating money to me to help pay for some of the costs that he cost me, and because he wanted to or whatever, that then he thinks it's okay to cuss me out publicly. Like, literally, his attitude did change. And I didn't even notice at first, because it was like, he's always a dick. Because again, I'm not under any misconceptions as to what I'm dealing with. So I didn't really notice until I'm going back through all these things. And I'm like, wow. He really, really thought that his little pennies that weren't even enough to rub together to cover what he cost me were going to give him some kind of rights over me. I don't know. He's the one who was under the misconception, not me. So there's one. Oh, sorry, guys. There's one of the PayPals in January. Let me go back over here. And I didn't want it. He's like, it was a good night, PayPal wise. Thank you for all you do. I said, dude, he said, don't make this a production. Just say thanks, because I don't want his money. Never wanted it. $25. Said, he kept messing up my outline. So you can see up there at the top. I said, I'm going to re-listen and see how can I improve your outline layout per your speaking style. Because he just kept messing up. Like, okay, how can I fix this? I didn't want his $25 after he missed work. He says, I know you don't, or I know I don't. Shut up. I said, you're so mean. Grr. He says, I love you. You're the best. I said, I love you too, brother. Thank you. Haha. Can't even decline that one because you sent PayPal. Getting smart to my ways. There's the one he sent me. See the middle finger, because I was pissed. I was trying to be cool about it and not be too prideful, but I didn't appreciate getting PayPals from the community. So here's everything I ever received First $50 he sent me on January the 1st. Within almost exactly a month of that, I don't know what I just did. Within exactly a month of that, he started publicly treating me like shit. He always treated me like shit behind in the background. I realize that more so now. January 25th, $50, and February the 14th, $25. And then the 25th is whenever that sweet woman had sent money for me, and I appreciate it, but I would send it back to her if I could. God, would I ever send that back to her if I could? So, long story short, you paid me about maybe $10 a show, not even $10 a show. I know for a fact, just from the people that you blocked and came to me crying, that you made way more money than that. So since you've been giving me, what did you say, half of your PayPals since October when I started writing your outlines, I would like to see, I really don't want to know, guys. I don't want this, but I'm just saying, like, let me see your screenshots. Let me see how much you made. And let me see where you sent half of it to me, because you freaking didn't. You sent me some pennies. Like, I could wipe my ass with that. And I'm not trying to be ugly. $125. Hey, it's $125. But he cost me close to $5. So I obviously wasn't in it for the money. Leave me alone. So I watched his live stream for the first time yesterday. And here we go. I heard all the BS, and I heard him talking about the money, and I heard all the lies, and I heard him degrading more people. And I sat there and watched what I thought was actually a pretty cool chick. I'm gonna stop there. I thought she was a pretty cool chick before I watched some of her videos and stuff. Just, hey, up there with them. And it was just all so disgusting and dirty and gross that even though, we're finding a new place and all these things, I don't need money like that. We have support, because it's funny. Don't treat people like shit. They're there for you. They're there for you when you need them. And not just financially, but emotionally. And all the ways I was there for you, actually. It's quite ironic. So what I went ahead, or what I found out this morning is this. You can take your $125 and shove it up your ass. So as of March the 17th, 2021 at 6:48 a.m., we sent you your money back with a sweet little note from my husband, who knows I wasn't in a car talking to anybody, because that's not even physically possible here. My husband hates you. He's always hated you. He doesn't treat me like you treat me. Nobody in my life treats you like you treat me. And nobody ever in my life again will treat you or treat me like you did. It says, leave my wife alone. Take your money back and never contact her again. But see, the thing is he'll be collecting PayPals off my back again. Like, literally. No, we're going to bury him, Janet. Just hold on. So, never again. Never again. So, never again. Never again. I don't want your money. I don't want your friendship. I don't want your fake love. You no longer have my acceptance. I no longer believe in you or your principles. There's your money. Take it and shove it. Like, what would that kind of be? A go on, take your money and run? Because silence.
I don't think he ever believed in his own principles, if I'm being honest. Now I'm back to mute.
Like, seriously, like, silence is complicity. That is why I'm talking. And basically, you guys, as you can see, I'm withdrawing all investments from the Bank of Glare. And this is not about you, dude. It's about what you're doing to others. You're not the victim. They are. This is not a channel about you. It's me using an account that I've had for 10 years to stand up against wrongdoing by you, wrongdoing against others. You see, it's not everyone else. It is your pattern. Once again, and for the last time ever, I will attempt to be a real friend. And I'm going to challenge your thinking. If you even listen to one word of this, which I'm sure you won't, you'll get clips and whatever, and you'll manipulate it and you'll lie. But come on, homie. Use your brain. I challenge everybody's thinking. Everybody who believes what they've been told in the last week. Everybody who thought that because somebody who is a fellow victim felt safe to talk to you, that it would be okay to further expose her to narcissistic abuse from the person that she's trying to get away from. I challenge your thinking. At the end of all this, I don't want to destroy you. I don't. I just don't. So you ladies have been through hell with me, and I appreciate everything that you've done. Take your money and shove it, yo. Bye. Bye. Beautiful. Thank you so much for your contribution to this evening's service. It's always nice when the community steps forward and helps when we're mourning together at such an awful time. As we remember the Glare principles, though they passed before their time, let us not forget the comfort and closeness that it once brought to those of us who truly knew and followed them. Gratitude, you slipped away like a thief in the night. When you degraded the mod who helped you with things no mod should ever be asked to do, she should have left you stranded in Colorado when that woman ditched you. Logic, taken too soon, before you could even start your existence, a stillbirth within his mind. Awareness, pushed down and drowned out by the voices that you never stood a chance at even piercing the veil. Accountability and acceptance, fraternal twins separated at birth, we may never see their full potential to thrive as one. Rationality, your voice was drowning in the static. By the time you could be heard, it was far, far too late. We could not save you. Empathy, oh, empathy. Your memory, we will carry it with us. We forgive your murderer and his inability to handle your weight. Resilience, may you rise up from the ashes of this broken, torn down heart and learn to live once again. Rise like the phoenix. Spread your fiery wings.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Again, thank you for contributing your beautiful vocals to our service this evening. Oh, my friends, as we leave this sacred ground today, do not let your hearts be troubled. No service or act of kindness done in love or purity is wasted, not even on the man too small to treasure his own gifts from God. Do not be weary or heavy laden. Do not hang your head in shame. Walk and stand tall with pride, knowing your mistakes do not define you. And I will try to remember mine do not find me. My dear friends, leave in peace and in love. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our graveside service for this evening. Thank you for your visiting That Girl's Graveyard to help us celebrate life and commemorate loss. You don't have to go home, but only the dead can stay here.
Are you little fucking fruitcake? Fuck you, Will.
Head in the clouds, got no weight on my shoulders. I should be wiser and realize that I have got one less problem without you. I've got one less problem without you. I've got one less problem without you. I've got one less.
Oh, are you there, Will? Are you little fucking fruitcake? Fuck you.
I appreciate your time this evening. I appreciate everybody coming to show support. I cannot tell y'all how much that I love you. And if this does not make it perfectly clear, I don't know what will. I cannot tell y'all how much I value you. And I want you to value yourself. Learn from me. Value yourself. Because if you don't, nobody else will. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do after this. And you know what? Doesn't even matter. Because I'm free. I don't have to wait to get yelled at again. I don't have to worry when the next stab in my back is going to come, because it's going to keep coming. And I don't even care. I don't. So everybody have a blessed day. Try to ignore the static. And remember to love each other.
Being said, I like to associate myself with people who would extend me the same courtesy that I prefer to extend you. And the reason why I prefer to extend you that courtesy is because I would prefer that courtesy extended back to me. It's just a very nice back and forth thing if we all understand each other, right? And I'm a very direct person. And if the truth is what you expect of me, then you should not expect the luxury of your feelings being pandered to as well. And I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to myself. I do not believe in any way, shape, or form that if you expect the truth to be told to you directly, then you should not also expect your feelings to be affected in some way, shape, or form. See, I choose to prefer that people speak directly to me, tell me what they think, tell me what's on their mind. This way we can cut through the bullshit, fix the problem. As I took somebody's wrench, who I felt at some point, and this is after a long time of thinking, because this person is a very, very supportive person of my channel. Absolutely. This person is to a certain, well, not really anymore because I took the wrench. But see, when I take somebody's wrench, you know, that also, there's creators where if they take my wrench for a reason that is simply valid, as I just didn't think you were a right fit for the team anymore, well then, okay. Because what I do with my channel, what any creator does with their channel, by the way, guys, and I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself, but what any creator does with their channel is none of your fucking business. No decision that they make is any of your fucking business. I don't owe anyone here an explanation for jack shit. You don't owe me an explanation for jack shit. I'm the one who decided I'm going to come up here and put my balls out here. I just had this whole thing. I just did a whole live about how important doing something is an expression of yourself. Who the fuck are you to judge how I And if you're a mod, either you want to support it or you don't. But what you're not going to do as a mod is talk to me like you're my fucking life coach or you're my, you know, fucking whatever. I don't even have the words right now. But you're not gonna fucking sit there and overstep your boundaries and overstep the boundaries that I've set in my chat. Choose to not be aware of it because when I take your wrench for it, you go, I don't understand what happened. I don't know what I did. I don't know what's going on. And then go and bitch and moan in a private chat with a bunch of other people and all the other mods. And this is literally the third time this has happened to me.